Loaded into the game, it's Newkirk Precinct, and spawning in the bottom left position, we've got the blue Protoss player. It's ToD. And his opponent down in the bottom right, the purple Terran player, Hundsfoz.
Yeah, some people in chat pointing out that that might be something obscene in German. I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm not from Germany. I did study German for like 3 years in high school because that's obligated in the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, you have to study French, German, and another language, so like Spanish, Russian, or Greek, or Latin, something like that. You have to. A lot of languages are being taught in the Netherlands because, let's be frank, who speaks Dutch? Like the Netherlands and a few other countries. It's not really a big language like English is.
Yeah, that's the joy of being from England, is everyone seems to speak English, which is a terrible excuse for not learning other languages. But at the moment we can see that for the moment we do have an SCV on its way across, although unlikely to be something quite as aggressive. A gas is going to get taken here.
Again. It could be.
I don't think the gas has just got taken. I saw the SCV was rallied over, so probably going to be able to just get down a Reaper nice and quickly. And that's not a big problem really for ToD, who's just taken his first gas here. He's also getting up his gateway. In terms of strategy, do you reckon we'll see Stargate play out of ToD?
We could see that. It's a good map to do it on. But the games that I have seen ToD play, I haven't seen him favor Stargate play as much versus Terran, but I could be completely wrong about that. I have only seen like 3 of his games recently of last week, and 3 games is not really a good guideline to go by for predictions. So I'm gonna not predict anything for ToD here. He is gonna go for a Zealot out of his gateway. That is definitely worth noting. He's not doing the same strategy as he was doing in last game. No super early second Zealot, no super Chrono boosts early on that gateway. He's going to be taking his second gas relatively early. He's only putting 1 worker in there, so he's now got 3 guys on gas in total, even though he has 2 assimilators.
And that is a bit unusual. Usually you see 4 burn. ToD probably going for some very specific builds. There he's now up to 5. He's got the Mothership Core Chrono boosting out, the Reactor on its way out for the Terran player, as well as his second command center being built in the main. So a bit more of an economic build being taken at the moment compared to that of game 1. ToD has his natural Nexus on its way in addition to that, and the Mothership Core is out on the field.
Yeah, very economic build here by our French caster friend. That is going to be a very economic build. He cancelled his Zealot even. He only had 3 guys on gas instead of the usual 4 or 5, and therefore has a pretty early Nexus here. And this is something we see Protoss players do more and more, because if there's no SCV throwing down an engineering bay at your expansion to delay it, you can just go ahead, cancel the Zealot, drop down the Nexus. And as soon as a Terran player sees you're not producing anything out of the gateway, he's gonna make an engineering bay and block it. But if he sees, a Zealot is on the way, I'm not even gonna try blocking your expansion with an engineering bay.
So ToD's just chucked down his proxy pylon at the 4th base location, or potential 4th base location, and a Stargate is getting made in his main. So I really like Stargate play on this map because obviously the rush distance by air is quite short. There's that pylon there in addition to that, making it really nice. We see the factory is now just completed. We've got the starport on the way as well as a Widow Mine. So the Terran going for a nice defensive strategy of play. Could also go for some drop play once that starport is finished, but with the command center out, he's not rushing it out super quickly. We've got additional gateways and the forge as well for ToD, who's getting to some nice all-round build in my opinion.
Yeah, has to be careful though of the Widow Mines, of course. He has no detection to currently speak of. He can make an Oracle out of that gateway, and he probably will. Or is it going to be something else? Let's see. The Stargate's now finished up, and yeah, it is going to be an Oracle. He also has a Forge down, so he could use a cannon for detection, but Widow Mines could potentially be a problem. But that's what that pylon is for. Look at the rally point. There was a rally point set, no longer though, never mind. There was a rally point going right over that pylon, and if the medevac is to move out to ToD's base, it's probably going to pass over that pylon, so that's why that pylon's there, not to proxy any kind of tech.
Look at this, a hallucinated Oracle on its way across the map at the moment. That is a really smart move by ToD, because he's going to react, the Terran's going to react to that, take it out, and then think, oh, the next one's just hallucinated as well, as half of his SCV line dies. So this is something that's a very intelligent move by the Protoss player.
Wow! Did you get to see that in the main mineral line? The hallucinated Oracle has actually done a lot of damage to the SCVs there. The Widow Mine blowing up on him And that is really cool. And now in comes the real Oracle, and the Widowmine cannot fire, and all these SCVs are weak, so ToD can just one-shot them with this Oracle. Boom, boom, boom. There he goes. Already up to 4 worker kills with that Oracle. Has to be careful. That Widowmine is about to fire again. Ooh, so close.
That Oracle has done more than enough, though, now. It's 6 kills down straight away. The hallucinated Oracle is just a genius move, and one of the reasons you've always got to be careful when you place Widow Mines in your SCV line is for that exact reason. They can damage your workers themselves. Phoenix following this up, we do see the natural base up and running for both players. In terms of the work count, 43 probes to 26 SCVs.
Yeah, the economic side of things really good for ToD right now. He's going to be going in for some more harassment, I suppose. But how is he going to deal with that Widowmine that is in the mineral line? That Widowmine, if it fires, it will probably kill 2 of his own SCVs. But of course, it will one-shot the Oracle or Phoenix. In comes the Phoenix, though. It's going to try... Who is he going to sacrifice? Is he going to sacrifice some damage?
He's going to lift it because he's got the detection from the Oracle. The SCV's getting pulled very quickly. 1 Viking sitting in the middle, but, well, the Marine's going to try and come back here, but straight away coming down towards the natural base. There is a Widow Mine here as well, but lifted once more, and this is just ToD really starting to dominate here. These Oracles dealing an incredible amount of damage. 15 workers have been killed. ToD over double that, but a drop in the main base of ToD, trying to get a bit of counter aggression. Down goes the Nexus Cannon. The Stalker focusing the medevac as well. No escape. No surrender. They are all in this drop, and it was not too successful.
No, 4 workers killed there by our Terran player versus 15 that ToD was able to get. And oh my god, how cool was that? Using Envision on one Oracle, and then using the Pulsar Beam on the Oracle to kill it off, and use the Phoenix to lift it. That's actually the first time I've ever seen that. That is so creative. That is so cool.
I don't think I've actually ever seen a Burrowed Widow Mine lifted before, so very nice move there by ToD, as you correctly pointed out, Lurlian. And now he's just in a really dominating position, purely based on the fact that his economy is so superior that to of his opponent, and he's still able to put on the aggression. He's got a good number of Phoenix out, those 2 Oracles still happily sitting around just outside his opponent's main base. The Viking is the Viking still out on the field? If I take a quick look, yes it is. Where is the Viking hiding? Just in the main base, so that is going to be a bit of a threat, but to be honest, I don't see ToD having too many problems. He's getting his robotic facility down. He's got +1 Protoss ground weapons already near completion, and now coming in for wave 3 of this harassment.
He was expecting more Widow Mines. He used Envision again on that Oracle, but there were actually no Widow Mines in position, and ToD was like, really? I'm just going to kill off your workers.
Oh, the Oracle stayed here. Look at all the SCVs going down, Lurlian. They were all pushed back because the Phoenix headed towards the natural, but the damage in the main is incredible. Absolutely catastrophic. 30 SCVs have now gone down. ToD, he's getting himself further and further ahead this game.
Yeah, I don't think he can lose this game anymore. He does lose a lot of his Phoenix there. His Oracles are still alive. He was up to 3 or 4 Phoenix, but now down to only 1. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult to try and do further harassment damage because turrets are going to be going up. I really think Hundsfoz should have invested in his turrets a little bit earlier. Having those out after the first initial harass would have prevented so much damage done. Another 15 workers were killed just now by ToD. That's huge. He is so far ahead.
And he's taking his 3rd Nexus. He's getting his robotics bay down. His upgrades are looking really nice. He's already got 1122 on its way from the double forges. Compare that to Huns. He's got no upgrades yet, none even on the way. He does have the 2 engineering bays, but not started any upgrades. There is a grey reveal on all of those units, so he knows precisely where his opponent's going to be moving.
Yeah, he has a very good idea of what's happening. He sees all those Marines move out. He knows exactly what's coming, and he has the perfect army to deal with that. He has no real big tech out yet. We see the first Colossi is just now hitting the production tab, but he's already got 1-1 finished up, going for a very early double forge build, whereas a Terran player, he's just now starting +1. So he's going to be down like 1.5 upgrade.
That's massive.
Immense.
It is absolutely huge and really will make a difference to any engagement. The Photon Overcharge being used on the 3rd Nexus there, pushing back this little bit of aggression. But to be honest, there's so few units here that any push-in is going to be very difficult. Lifting up into the medevac is going to go and drop, which may not be a bad move. The Phoenix does not quite manage to see it in the center there, and ToD, moving his army a long way back, gets another revelation on those Marines. But this big drop is going to do quite a lot. There is enough energy for a mass recall on that mothership core, though, and that is exactly what ToD's going to use. brilliant reaction there, and means that ultimately this drop will not be able to do very much.
No, the drop needs to get out of there ASAP. The Stalkers do not have a blink yet, so it's going to be a little bit harder to chase that down. But there is one Phoenix left alive, and that Phoenix is proving really crucial right now. The Oracles are doing some good damage, but they are starting to go down. There's a lot of Marines still left alive, but here comes the Colossi, and this drop was pretty much shut down completely. Only a single a single Hellbat, a single Marauder, and two... No, they're not even going to live. They're going to...
No. The Stalker's staying up there. ToD is not going to get kited that easily, and quite clear we can see that he's got himself into such a nice position. He's ahead by 20 workers. He's got that third base up. His tech's looking really nice. He's got the 2-2 upgrades up against 0-0 currently for the Terran player. He's in a beautiful position, and I think that unless he makes some kind of catastrophic mistake, he isn't going to lose this game and will advance to the next round.
Yeah, he definitely will. He's too far ahead to be able to lose this anymore. Let's take a look at our Terran player, though. What can he do to come back in this game? That's dropping, and hoping that ToD is not going to be ready for one of his drops. But ToD, he's got such great vision everywhere. He's got a pylon right near the base of our Terran player. He's got another one at his fourth base that's going to be spawning this medevac. ToD, he's so bulletproof right now. He's got cannons, he's got warpins available, he's got super good upgrades. I don't think he has any vulnerable points anymore.
He doesn't, and he's currently just pushing in towards this third. The Stalker's doing a really nice amount of damage. 1-1 has just finished for the Terran player, so that, of course, is quite beneficial, but we can see that with the third orbital command getting taken out, ToD is a base up. It's very nicely defended by cannons as well, as you rightly said, and that just means that any push, any drop is going to be so difficult to be used successfully. ToD, of course, here as well, keeping Stalkers up in his main. He knows he's done a good bit of damage here. He knows he's limited the expansions of his opponent, and knows that his economy, tech, and upgrades are all superior, and it's just going to take things nice and slow, nice and careful.
Yep, ToD is going to be playing it the safe way, and he should. That's how you get better at this game. Always playing safe instead of being greedy and doing all-ins. You should just sit back, expand, and beat your opponent that way. I was going to do in this battle, though, there's a lot of SCVs in this pool, but I don't feel that like there's anywhere near enough damage. I mean, the 2-2 upgrades are just going to be ravaging through this army. GG gets called, and XMG's ToD goes ahead and takes his first win of this tournament. He actually takes the first series of this tournament, I should say. 2-0. He's going to be advancing over our German Terran.